Mishnah says, Maskirin Yitzias Mitzrayim Balaylis. We mentioned Yitzias Mitzrayim at night. I was like 7 years old, kid. Right? He became the Nasi of the Bezdin of the Sanhedrin, and he said, "I'm like he got older, he got gray, he got white. I'm like 7 years old, Zechisi, and yet I have yet not merited Sheta'imam Yitzias Mitzrayim Balaylis. I didn't know that you say Yitzias at night. I thought it's Krishmas during the day, and say during the day. What's the kol? All the days. What's kol yemei? Kol yemei includes at night. There's a mitzvah to remember Yitzias Mitzrayim at night as well. Kol is even Mashiach. Even after Mashiach, we're going to have the Nisim. We'll see in a minute about the Magog. You still remember Yitzias Mitzrayim. Is that true? Do you really think you still have to remember Mitzrayim after Mashiach? We're not going to say Hashem took us out of Mitzrayim. Kim Chai Hashem Shehela v'Hashevi Zera Beis Yisrael mi'eretz Tzefoina u'mikol ha'aretz ha'aretzois asher tchisim sham. Hashem took us out from all the north and all the lands that He spread us out in Gullus. So you see that that's how we're going to praise Hashem, not with Yitzias Mitzrayim, that the Mashiach is much greater. So we say no. It's not that we're going to stop Yitzias Mitzrayim talking about that. It's what's going to be the Iker. Shiur Malchus, that's the Iker. That was the Iker. Yitzias Mitzrayim is tough alone. Similarly, we have a concept where something is redefined, and yet it doesn't mean it's gone. So Hashem says that your name will not be Yaakov, Kim Yisrael Yeshimcha. So Rosh Yaakov im Koimoy. It's not that there is no name Yaakov. El Yisrael is Iker Yaakov Tofelo. And I'll show it to you. And hit him with the pasuk. So now we're going to show you what do you see again in the pasuk that is both Yitzias Mitzrayim and Shivin Goldis. The Navi says, don't remember Rishaynis, Kadmonius, Altis Baininu. Kadmonius referred, Kadmonius are the previous, the earlier one. That's Yitzias Mitzrayim. Don't contemplate them. You'll remember them, but don't Altis Rishaynis, the Shivin Malchus. But here Shivin Malchus means the previous Shivin Malchus, the Bavel and whatever, Bavel and Yovan, Hulu. But Kadmonius is Altis Baininu. That's in Yitzias Mitzrayim. Don't contemplate them. It's not going to be such a big deal. But I'm going to rebuild the world. Ato Titzmach. There'll be a new world after Gog and Magog. Tanav Yisrael Zu Mechemes Gog and Magog. There's a wolf. We'll say so. For a while, he's talking about it. There's it with Nes. Pogabo Ari. Lion, if you need something over here, Sapoil, Maisari, he's talking about it. Pogabo Nochash. If you need something over Shochach, Maisa Shneim, Sapor, Maisa Nochash. Avkach, Yisrael, Tzoros Achreinis, the final Tzoros, the last Tzoros, will be Mishkachas as Rishaynis. Pasuk says Avram, who Avraham, with the hey. In the expression says, what's the name Avram? The name Avram comes from the Av. Where is Avram from? Aram. He was the Av of Aram. He was the greatest person in Aram, the leader of Avram. So if Nasa Av l'Kolam Oilam Kulo, then he became Av Hamoin Goyim, Av everyone, the Hamoin, Avraham. Sarai similarly is Sarah. Sorry. Sarai. Sarai is singular. It's just my Sar. Lumoso. Just her for her nation. And then eventually, she became, so if not a Sarah. Sarah is more general. the Sar, the officer, the call them Kulot for the whole world. Now, in fact, if you call him Avram, you're not allowed to do that. So you're over an essay. Remember here, Shimcha Avram. Pasuk says that's an obligation. Your name is Avram. Don't call yourself Avram. Or don't call him Avram. Maybe that also Shachanami. No, that's not a raya. That's a kuchap richu amel Avram. That's a direct request from HaKadosh Baruch Hu to Avram. That Sarah ishtachal tikra eshva Sarah ki Sarah shma. Yaakov is that true? He's also over Olav. Shani Hasam there. It's true. It's a commandment. But on the other hand, Shani Hasam the Hadra the Hadra. The Torah reuses the name Yaakov afterwards. Yaakov. Hashem calls out Yaakov. So you see that it can still be called Yaakov, even though his name is Yisrael. There you see also then, if that's the case, why does the Navi refer to Avram Avinu with the Shem Avram? So you see he's renamed Avram. So what's the lav then? Why can't I also call him Avram? So he says, no, that's not a raya. Amarle, Hassam, the Navi is Masada l'shvacha d'Rachmana. The Navi is just telling over the praises of Hashem historically. And he mentions the story of Hashem changing his name to Avram, but that's not necessarily mean that we're reusing. We're just quoting what was before. We're not necessarily changing his name. And it's just Masada l'shvacha d'Rachmana madahavi mikara. That's all. Hadon loch b'masai. Zokta mishtavayta akari b'Torah v'yizman amikra. A person is reading in the Torah. You're reading the parsha, and you're reading the parsha of Kriya Shema. It happens to be that week's parsha, and it comes time to say Kriya Shema. In kiven liba yotza. So here you need to make sure you have kavana. We're going to discuss this in a minute, but you need to have kavana. Kiven liba yotza. Okay. Now we're going to discuss when are you allowed to interrupt in the middle of Kriya Shema. Now, why would you ever interrupt? The answer is that sometimes if somebody comes, you have to honor, you have to say, you have to answer him, or you have to say Shalom Aleichem sometimes. So we're going to see there's rules, very specific rules. In the Prakim, if you're in the middle saying Shema, Shoyl b'nei HaKoved. This is the opinion of Rameir. Yes, if it's an honorable person, your Kibbutz of Aim, your father, or your Rebbe, Umeishiv, and you can also answer him. Ube'emsa. Now, but Prakim is you're not in the middle of Kriya Shema. You at least got to the end of a paragraph. Well, we'll see what they are. But so then you can answer. You can be Me'akov and answer. In the middle, Be'emsa Shoyb Ne'ayirit. So that's only someone you're afraid of. If the president comes, or whatever it is, or somebody, or the police, maybe, I don't know, you're afraid they're going to kill you. Somebody you're really afraid. So then you can say Shalom then Umeishiv. Divrei Meir. Rabbi Yehuda Omer be'emsa shoyl. And Rabbi Yehuda argues, he holds be'emsa shoyl ne'yira, that you can only ask because of yira. We'll see. Well, it's just similar, really, what he said. And here he argues, he says in Meishiv also there has to be a clear reason why you're answering in the middle is because of kavod. And in Prakim, if you're in between shoyb ne'kavod. Yes, you can honor, you can ask. And Meishiv, then you can also answer anybody. Okay, now the Gemara will define a little more clearly what the machlokes is. The Mishnah continues, let's define, what does it mean, what's considered a paragraph in Kriya Shema? What's called a break in Kriya Shema? Eilahein ben Prakim. Ben Bracha Rishon and Yishniya. Between Yitzhor, the first Bracha, and then Avarabba. Ben Shniya and Avarabba, beginning Shema. Ben Shema, V'him Shemoya. To Shema v'hafta is one thing, and then v'hoim shemoya is a ben aprakim. Ben v'hoim shemoya v'yomer, that's also separate. Now here it says ben v'yomer then is v'yatziv, but also Ben Yehuda argues on that. Ben v'yomer v'yatziv l'yabas. No, that's not a stopping point. We continue. We say emes v'yatziv. We go straight into v'yatziv. It's all one. It has to be put together. Now what's the order? Why do we choose to say Shema, sorry, this is the order in the Torah as well, right? Why is that the order? Right? Why do we say that first? No, I take it back. It's a question why we say it first. I'm sorry, why is it first? So there's a reason. First you say Shema Yisrael Shem Elokeinu Shem Echad. And then we say Vayim Shemaya tells us, we speak about accepting the obligation of what we have to do, of mitzvahs we have to do if we listen to what it says in the Torah. So then we'll have bracha, we'll have what we need. So first Makabel all Malchus Shemayim, to Achar Makabel all mitzvahs. And why Vayim Shemaya Vayomer? Vayim Shemaya Noeg Ben Bayoim Ben Belayla. Vayim Shemaya is Noeg, is more important. It's Noeg, it's always, and Vayomer is Noeg El Bayoim Bavad. We don't have to say Yitzias Mitzrayim. According to the Chachamim, we don't say Yitzias Mitzrayim at night. That's what we paskin. Okay, what we're talking about now about Mitzvah Tzrichas Kavana. We said you have to be mechaven. If you're of Shema, you're reading the parsha, and you get to Shema, so you have to be kavana. Now that implies there's an assumption that when you do a mitzvah, you have to have kavana. Shema mina mitzvah tzrichas kavana. So that proves l'chayra that mitzvahs require kavana, because otherwise, why would you have to be mechaven? So the Gemara says no, it doesn't necessarily prove that. Ma'im kivan libo. Kivan means you're mechaven not to do the mitzvah. There's something called mitzvah tzrichas kavana. I have kavana. I'm doing this for the purpose of doing a mitzvah. Saying Shema for the purpose of doing a mitzvah. So no, you don't need that. So what does it mean kivan libo? Ma'im kivan libo. It's likros. I'm having a kavana that I'm reading the words. So the one says, what does that mean? Of course, obviously, it doesn't say that you're reading. So obviously you have kavana to read. For kakari. Says no, not necessarily. Sometimes, if your job is to check a Sefer Torah to see that all, right, or tefillin, whatever, to see the parashas are correct, so you have to read. You have to read it to check, but that's not called intention to read. So Rashi says that's not called doing the mitzvah. That's not called doing the act, intention to doing the act of the mitzvah, and therefore you're not yotze unless you're mechaven. Torah rabbanan. Okay, pay attention here. It's a little bit, just analyzing a little bit what the starting assumption is. Okay, Kriyashma kichsafa divi Rebbe. Okay, there's a machlekes here. How do you say Kriyashma? Rebbe says the word. Obviously, the Torah. How's the Torah written? Obviously, it's written Lashon HaKodesh. Right? So you have to say Kriyashma that way. Now the Chachamim have an interesting sheet. They say no. Kol Lashon. Even if you translate the Kriya Shema and you want to say it in English, yes, you can do that. My time with the Rebbe, I'm a Krav V'hayu. It says V'hayu Advar Me'ela, right? But Avyasan knew that these words, they should be according to the way they are. Lashon HaKodesh, Rabbanan, my time. So good point. So how can you say otherwise? I'm a Krav Shema. If you say Shema Yisrael, Shema is mentioned hearing. The main thing is not to read it as it is, but to hear it, to hear the ideas. So that could be B'kol Lashon, Shat Shemeh. So how does Rabbi ignore that? Rabbi Nam Yiksiv Shema. There's halacha that when you say Kriya Shema, you can't just mouth the words very quietly. The words have to be said in a way that they're audible, that you hear them to your ears. The Rabbanan disagree. It's not true. Say the words. I didn't really hear it, but I said the words. As long as I said them, they're Kriya Shema. Now let's go back to Rabbanan. It says the pasuk there has to be written. So how can you say it's enough just to say Shema in any? How can you say it in English? There's another halacha. You have to say in order. If you say v'yahafta first, if you say v'hayim shemaya, then v'yahafta, you're out. It's not good. Or any pasuk for that matter. V'Rebbe shali yikar l'mafreim. All that he agrees with that, but that's from midvarim advarim. Midvarim lo darshi. They disagree. Now we're just going to analyze for a few more lines here. Just pay attention. We want to analyze what's the outside logic of the pasuk. How does it work? In other words, what was the starting point and what was the maskana we learned from the pasuk? So now Rebbe says, we learn in the pasuk there has to be the words exactly. The name of the Rebbe, they call Torah Kula, and that normally when the Torah obligates you to say something, it could be in any language. Nemra. These are to die to Lashon Kodesh, Nemra. So then why do you have to have a special pasuk over here? Because of one only. What's the standard rule? Can you say things in the Torah can be said in any Lashon? So it says yes, and that's why it says here v'hayu. So lamali. No, so one says that's not true. It's not a proof. You haven't proven that point. I'll explain to you otherwise. You know why I need to say it here? Shema. So it's like a circular reasoning. It says Shema, so I have to say v'hayu to tell me no. It can't be in any lashon. It could be only the way it is. So after it says Shema, I have to say v'hayu. Now, at the end of the day, I'm not going to use Shema. I'm going to use Shema for something else. I'm going to use Shema that you have to hear it for years. But I would have said maybe it means that, and this is v'hayu. And then I know Shema goes back to it. That's maybe how they darsh it. Okay, now the Maimer and the Ran will say the opposite. So the Rabbanan call it kula b'lashon hakodesh. The Rabbanan would have assumed lashon hakodesh. These thought that had lashon emra. So why do you have to say Shema? Why any special pasuk tell me you can say it in any language? It says lamali. No, it's derech. That's not a raya. Maybe the reason why they say you need Shema because it says v'hayu is you can't prove anything here. We don't know what the outside svara is and how it works here. Maybe because it says v'hayu that it has to be lashon hakodesh and it says Shema. So logically they go with the fact that it says Shema at the end of the day, and v'hayu will tell me it has to be in order. But I would have thought maybe otherwise. It could actually because it says v'hayu it has to be lashon hakodesh and need Shema. I don't know what their real outside logic svara is. It's a bit tricky. You have to go over it maybe just to get just math. Okay.